Getting a divorce in Connecticut is actually simpler than you might think. The divorce may be filed by either spouse if a resident. However, the divorce will not be finalized until one spouse has been a resident for 1 year, unless one spouse was a Connecticut resident at the time of the marriage and returned intending on permanent residence, or if the grounds for divorce arose in Connecticut. In cases involving support, the divorce is filed in the plaintiff's county of residence. In all other cases, the divorce may be filed in any county which is convenient to both spouses. Once the residency requirement is completed, a legal grounds for a divorce must be established. Both general and no-fault divorce are acceptable grounds for divorce. The no-fault reasons are irretrievable breakdown of the marriage, incompatibility and voluntary separation for 18 months with no reasonable prospect for reconciliation. The general rules include adultery, life imprisonment, confinement for incurable insanity for a total of 5 years, willful desertion and non-support for 1 year, 7 years absence, cruel and inhuman treatment, fraud, habitual intemperance, drunkenness, and commission and/or conviction of an infamous crime involving a violation of conjugal duty and imprisonment for at least 1 year. Connecticut requires a parenting plan for child custody. Joint or sole custody is determined by the best interests of the child, regardless of the parent's sex, and the causes for the dissolution of marriage if such causes are relevant to the best interests of the child, and the wishes of the child if the child is of sufficient age and is capable of forming an intelligent choice. There are no other specific state guidelines. It is presumed that joint custody is in the best interest of the child if both parents have agreed. Either parent may be ordered to contribute child support based on the financial resources of the child, the age, health, and station of the parents, the occupation of each parent, the earning capacity of each parent, the amount and sources of income of each parent, the vocational skills and employability of each parent, the age and health of the child's occupation, the vocational skills of the child, the employability of the child, the estate and needs of the child, and the relative financial means of the parents. Either parent may be ordered to provide health insurance for the child. There are official child support guidelines, and these guidelines are presumed correct unless the amount would be inequitable or inappropriate under the circumstances. Connecticut is an equitable distribution state. The court may assign either spouse all or part of the property of the other spouse, including any gifts and inheritances, based on the contribution of each spouse to the acquisition of the marital property, including the contribution of each spouse as homemaker, the length of the marriage, the age and health of the spouses, the occupation of the spouses, the amount and sources of income of the spouses, the vocational skills of the spouses, the employability of the spouses, the estate, liabilities, and needs of each spouse, and the opportunity of each for further acquisition of capital assets and income, the circumstances that contributed to the estrangement of the spouses, and the causes of the dissolution of marriage. The following are considered when determining alimony for either spouse: the causes for the dissolution of marriage, including any marital fault, the distribution of the marital property, whether the spouse seeking support is the custodian of a child whose condition or circumstances make it appropriate for that spouse not to seek outside employment, the duration of the marriage, the age of the spouses, the physical and emotional conditions of the spouses, the usual occupation of the spouses during the marriage, the needs of each spouse, and the vocational skills and employability of the spouse seeking support and alimony. Within 90 days after the divorce has been filed, either spouse or the attorney for any minor children may request conciliation with the court's clerk. 2 mandatory counseling sessions will then be ordered. Mediation services may also be available from the court for property, financial, custody, and visitation issues. Visit us today at www.mydivorcepapers.com and click on Connecticut at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.